Quick show of hands here. How many people have been in a vehicle or own a vehicle that has a GPS device in it? Okay, pretty much everybody. Let's just pull the room here because it's kind of intriguing. When you first got it, you tinkered around with it and stuff, just yell the answer out. Did it talk to you, yes or no? Yes. Yes, okay, good. When you first got it, before you tinkered with any settings at all, did it have a male or a female voice? Yeah. Do you hear this? This is interesting. It's a little experiment. I'm starting to ask around people, and every single audience is female. So I called the people that make GPS devices, and I said, hey, so what's the deal with female voice being on all your GPS systems? The guys said, oh, that's easy. Guys don't want other guys to tell them where to go. These people are clever. So anyway, I've got my Garmin C330. I bought it, I don't know, it must have been 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. This is when they were $1,000. Now they're practically free, have you noticed? They give them away with boxes of shreddies and stuff, like, here, take a GPS, mail-in coupon. So anyway, I got mine, it was about $1,000, and I suction cupped it to the windshield. It wasn't built in, it wasn't part of my phone or anything, it was this standalone unit. And it went thunk, suction cup to the windshield. And it looked up at the sky at $1 billion worth of United States military hardware. It looks up and it says, where am I? And the whole GPS system, it does this triangulation thing and it finds all the coordinates, like, boop, 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 poof. You're currently here. And the GPS looks up and says, thank you. So I fired mine up and I punched in an address and well, I gotta be honest, I didn't like her tone. And she was a little bit aggressive. Do you know what I'm talking about? She's like, turn left 2.6 miles. I was like, whoa. We're in Canada. So I started, did you know you can change the voices on these? Have you done so? What'd you change yours to? British? Which one? Morgan, oh really? I saw Liam Neeson the other day. I think, you're going to be dead by midnight. So I fired mine up. She's like, turn left 2.6 miles. Like, whoa, let's relax. So I tinkered with it. I set mine on the most very polite British, She's like, boom, turn left in 2.6 kilometers. And I think, oh, that sounds like a very pleasant experience. I think we shall, my dear. My wife's like, well, stop talking to the GPS. So my mind was racing. I was thinking, imagine if you could change the voices on this thing. Imagine if you could download other voices. Well, of course, over time, it turns out you can. You can download Morgan Freeman. You can download British. You can download an Australian. Good eye, mate. Hey, hop on the 410. Yeah, fantastic. So I was thinking to myself, how cool would it be to put on like other voices, like I don't know, like Yoda? Did you know you can put Yoda on your GPS? Okay, go to YouTube, punch in Yoda GPS. There's a whole 2-minute segment. He's like, found me, you have, yeah? And they said, destination arrived, you have. Feel the force now, you do. GPS is a handy device. So I started tinkering around and I was thinking, imagine, how cool would this be? Imagine if you could download like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wouldn't that be odd? Like the Governator? Come on, like the Terminator. Get off the whole 410 right now. Get off at Courtney Park for crying out loud. Get in the chopper, damn it. And things of that nature in the state of California. That's not my child. No. Or imagine if you could download Elmo to your GPS. I mean, really, we have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and it is so, Elmo is pervasive in our house, and it's just like, Elmo loves you, turn left again. And you zip past the 407. Recalculating, 407, definitely 407 on Tuesday. Definitely. Shut up, Elmo, I have a headache. I digress slightly. GPS device is a really cool gizmo. You punch in a destination. You set it on some place you want to go. And there's no emotion involved. It's just a computer. And it's like, so you want to go to that spot? Yeah? Okay. We'll show you. And it looks up, where are we? You're currently here. How do we get to the thing that he wants? Okay, good. And it turn left, turn right, turn left, go 2 miles, 3 kilometers, turn. Handy system, true or false? True, okay. If you get into a vehicle And you have this amazing $100 gizmo, and it looks up at the sky, $1 billion worth of satellites. And you don't punch in a destination. How helpful is the gizmo and the satellites? Not so much, huh? It might tell you where you are, but you kind of know where you are already. So if you don't punch in an address, the whole system's useless. Don't look now. It's exactly the same thing in life. And it's exactly the same thing in your career. It's exactly the same thing today. You need to wake up tomorrow and punch a destination into a virtual GPS in your mind. By the end of today, I would like to be at that place. Let me ask you a question. And I need you to chew on this. If you and I were to meet again 5 years from today, what has to have happened in your personal life, in your academic and career, for you to be happy with the results? I'll say that again. If you and I were to meet again 5 years from today, what has to have happened in your life for you to be happy with the results? Don't answer it out loud. This is for you. Okay, so you have some goals. You have some things you'd like to accomplish. Let me ask you this question. If you knew there was absolutely no way you could fail, what would you try? Like if you knew there's a 100% chance this is going to go perfectly, there is no possible way I could be ridiculed. There's no possible way I could fall down flat on my face. There's no possible way that I could get rejected. There's no possible way that I could have any loss of any kind. If you knew that there's no way you could possibly fail, what would you do? There's this interesting thing that happens to all of us. And I've been sitting in the back of the room and watching speakers, and I just turned 40. And I watched a 15-year-old talk about their accomplishments. And I sat back in my chair and thought, I am a colossal failure. True or false? You've heard some of the people doing incredible things up here, and you're like, awkward. I got out of bed this morning and I did laundry and I've heard some things that have been accomplished up here that have caused me to think, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not doing enough. There's this little noise in the back of your head. I know it's there, it's in mine, it's in everybody's. And for some people, it's really loud and it controls you. And for others, it's the weirdest thing, but they've either turned the volume down or off or found a way to just ignore it. But it's that noise that says, you are not smart enough to try that. You're too tall, you're too thin, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too old, you're too young, you're too broke, you're too rich. Okay, rich might not be the impediment. But there's this noise. It's going to come up with all the reasons why, no. It's different for me because I've got all these issues and I've got all kinds of stuff going on in my life. Every single person in this room has this noise in the back of our mind, and it's fear. Believe it or not, there's a chemical response in our mind. There are a whole bunch of different neurotransmitters. We're not going to go into a big lecture about science, but science has shown us that when you feel awesome, certain things happen in your brain and in your body physically. There's a chemical response. When you feel stressed, certain chemicals are released, certain hormones are released. When you experience fear, certain chemicals are released. You know this. Anybody who's spoken up here today knows this happened recently. When you're backstage and you're just about ready to come out, your palms get sweaty. True or false? Your breathing stops. Someone's like, you should keep breathing. Oh, okay, I'll keep breathing. Okay, yeah. And we have this amazing fear of something. I'm not quite sure what it's. I think it's rejection. Is it reject? Yeah, I sure hope they don't reject me. I sure hope I don't fall on my face. I sure hope I don't die on the stage. I sure hope I don't get laughed at. I sure hope. And then, as an audience, you are sitting right there in the seat, and you're looking at the speaker up here, and you're going, I really hope they don't suck. I sure hope they don't fall down, because if they fell down, I could picture myself doing that, and that would be really uncomfortable. True or false? You feel it. You feel it. There's a sense of empathy. So we have these fears. And then we decide that, you know what, I'd like to do that and some of those things too before I die. You can do them tomorrow? No, busy tomorrow. You can do them next week? No, lots going on. Why? Because I'm actually kind of freaked out about them. They all scare me and I don't really know how I'm going to accomplish it. You ask every single successful person in this room or in life or in society, they will tell you they experience exactly the same feelings you do. They experience the fear. But what we're starting to discover is you can move toward fear or you can move away from it. I'm afraid of that. That makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I'm going to go over here. Oh, I'm comfortable again. I'm in my comfort zone. And we take a step over here. Whoa. Uncomfortable. Okay, back in my comfort zone. I had a deal with some of my friends when they were going to MBA programs at a bunch of different schools. I said, look, I don't have an MBA, but I'd like to hear some neat speakers. So if you hear of a cool speaker coming to your school, please tell me. I'll throw on a suit and blend in. So I put my suit on. I'd sit in the very front row always. I'd make eye contact with the speaker. I'd take a ton of notes, and I'd be one of the first people pop out of the seat and go talk to them. And I met a guy named Jared Jones, the former CEO of Coca-Cola Bottling. And I said, can you give me one secret, just one little tidbit that you think has really helped you in your life? And he said, Chris, every single opportunity you get to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, do it. Because that, my friend, is the only time you will grow. Yeah, but it's really uncomfortable there. Yeah. That's the point. It's going to be really hard. I'm convinced there are two words that slow down in the English language when we use them. One is the word hard. The other is the word realistic. Come on now, let's be realistic here. Yeah, but I want to do that. If you want to do it badly enough, don't let anybody talk you out of it. And whatever you do, don't talk yourself out of it. So I said to Jared, there's a bunch of things that make me uncomfortable. He said, what's something you'd like to do in your career? And I said, well, I'd like to be a speaker, actually. I'm told I'm good at it, but man, am I freaked out. I am so panicked every single time before I give a speech. And he said, okay, so that's outside your comfort zone. I said, yes. He said, perfect. I want you to promise me, look me right in the eye. He said, I want you to promise me every single opportunity you get to speak on a microphone, you must say yes, no matter how afraid you are. I was thinking to myself, well, I will never see him again, so I can make that promise. A couple of days later, I got a phone call from a friend of mine at the University of Western Ontario, now called Western University. She called me up and said, hey, Cummins, listen, we've had a cancellation. I know you want to get into the speaking world. I've heard you do a couple of presentations. I think you could probably do this. Do you want to come speak at Western? What happened to me physically, immediately? I was like, I can't. Fear, right up to here. And I said, okay, no, you know what? I can handle. What's you got? 30, 40 people in the room. I could probably do that. She said there will be 1,200 people in the room. I was like, mommy. My brain is immediately saying, no, just how about no? Let me check the calendar. No's available. Never is available. Is never good. And then I remembered Jared Jones, and I looked him in the eye, and I said, yes, I promise. Every opportunity I get to push myself beyond my little comfort zone, I will do it, because that's when I'll grow. And I said on the phone, okay, yes, I'll do it. Great, okay, excellent. I did not sleep. Pretty much from the time I hung up the phone to the time I spoke. I drove to London. It took 2.5 hours to get there. I'm driving along the highway. I'm not kidding. You have experienced this yourself, perhaps. I had so much fear. 1,200 people. 1,200 people. There's going to be 2,400 eyeballs staring at me. This is like 2,400 hands that can throw stuff at me. This is 2,400 shoes that could fly out the... You could get really hurt, man. So I'm driving to London. I was thinking to myself, 110 kilometers an hour, I could just sort of... Whoop. My brain thought better of it. But I had this fear. This incredible, pulsating fear in my body. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And it almost stopped me. Except I made that little promise to Jared Jones to choose fear over comfort. So I arrive in London, and there's a whole bunch of big London Transit buses. They're dropping off hundreds and hundreds of people. They're all getting off the buses, and they're going in. I go around back. I haven't eaten in a day and a half because I can't keep anything down. I go in the back door. I'm pacing back and forth backstage, and I can hear the first speaker's on. Okay, great. And the second speaker's on. Now it's going to be my introduction. And I'm looking, this floor is really shiny. I'm backstage looking at the floor. That's a shiny floor. It's pretty slippery. If I were to slip and fall and maybe bang my head, I'd have a really good excuse to not give this speech. A speaker ambulance, it was nuts. Oh, Chris, we know you're a fantastic speaker. And just your bad luck, you just weren't able to speak. And so I'm mapping out how to get out of this speech. They're like, and ladies and gentlemen, a good friend of mine, put your hands together, Chris Cummins. I was like, I don't have time to do that. Okay, here goes. Can you experience what I'm talking about? You're there, right? You're going, oh, I can't. 1,200 people, and I come out on the stage, and I look, oh my gosh, I can't see most of them. Wow. And then my brain said, hey, what would be really, really scary? What if you beatboxed? I was like, what? No, you can't beatbox. Jared Jones, every opportunity you get to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, do it, because that's when you grow. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. 1,200 people, I was like, and suddenly someone in the back row starts going, and then someone over here is going, and suddenly the whole place lights up. I was like, this is really cool. And suddenly the massive fear was boom, gone. And I just laid in. I talked about my first year at school, and I talked about overcoming certain obstacles, and I killed it. 45 minutes. It was an amazing experience. After that, I got off the stage, and I went back all by myself in the place. They're applauding, and it felt as though someone took a syringe of Red Bull and went like this. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like, woo! Choose fear. Not complacency, not comfort. Push yourself into that uncomfortable spot, because that, my friend, is the only time we ever grow. And every single speaker you've heard up here today, and every person you think, wow, they're so successful, they've all experienced the fear, and they did it anyway. Run toward it, dance with it, instead of hide from it. My name is Chris Cummins, and I passionately believe when you run toward your fear and you blow through it, your brain chemistry switches, and you realize, wow, if I can do that, what else? Thank you for your time. I very much appreciate it. Thank you.